It's Cleveland Indians baseball. We're at Metropolitan Stadium in Minnesota as the Indians, who have lost 13 in a row, look to end their losing streak. It's Sunday, June 6, 1971, the 27th anniversary of D-Day. I remember my dad telling me that one of our neighbors that lived across the street from us was a D-Day veteran. I asked my dad if he had ever told him what he did on D-Day, and my dad said, nah, he just said that he was a D-Day vet. As I mentioned, the Indians have lost 13 in a row. And then to make things sound even worse, the commissioner's office has announced that, hey, got Ellie Jr. in the booth. The commissioner's office has announced that they are investigating the Indians for some contract irregularities, specifically performance clauses, which are illegal in 1971. They specifically name that they are looking at the contracts of Sam McDowell, Greg Nettles, and Ken Harrelson. Sam McDowell coincidentally gets the start today for the Indians. He is 5-5 with an ERA of 4.22. He was a Cy Young Award winner last year, but he's been having a very up and down season this year. He's third in the American League in strikeouts, but he leads the major leagues in walks given up. He's lost his last three decisions. His last one coming on June 1st in Milwaukee, when he pitched a four-hitter, only gave up 2 runs. He walked 4, he struck out 11, but the Indians were shut out by Bill Parsons. In fact, let's see. His last win was on May 7th against the Angels when he struck out 13. Then his next game against Oakland, he struck out 14, but the Indians lost that game. And then his last start, he struck out 11. We will be right back with the starting lineups. All right, we are at Metropolitan Stadium for today's game between Cleveland and Minnesota. This is the third game of a 3-game series. Cleveland has lost 13 straight. Sam McDowell takes the mound for Cleveland. He's made 12 starts on the year. He is 5-5 with an ERA of 4.22. This is his first start against Minnesota. He'll be opposed by Ellie Jr. He'll be opposed by Jim Perry for Minnesota. He's made 14 starts on the year, and he is 5-8 with an ERA of 5.70. This is his first start against the Indians this year. It's 78 degrees. We have a wind speed of 6 miles per hour from right field to left field. Starting lineup today for the Indians will be batting first the center fielder, Vada Pinson. Batting second to first baseman, Chris Chambliss. Batting third the left fielder, Ted Ulander. Batting fourth the third baseman, Greg Nettles. Sorry, Ellie Jr. is getting in my way. Batting fifth, the catcher, Ray Fosse. Batting sixth, the shortstop, Fred Stanley. Batting seventh, the right fielder, Roy Foster. Batting eighth, the second baseman, Eddie Leone. And batting ninth, the pitcher, Sam McDowell. defense, the Twins have Rich Reese at first base, Rod Carew at second base, Leo Cardenas at shortstop, Harmon Killebrew at third, Cesar Tovar in left field, Jim Holt in center field, Tony Oliva in right, Paul Ratliff catching, and on the mound is Jim Perry. Perry's been around a long time. He's, at this point in his career, he's pretty much a junk ball pitcher. He's pitched in 90 innings. He's given up 95 hits, 14 of those home runs, 35 walks, and 51 strikeouts. Jim Perry came up with the Cleveland Indians in 1959 and went over to Minnesota in a trade during the 1963 season. He has a career one-loss record of 129 and 149. With Cleveland, he had 3 seasons in a row where he won 10 games each season. One of those seasons, he was 10 and 22. That was in 1960. And leading off is Vada Pinson. He's hitting .245 with 2 home runs and 12 runs batted in. Well, inside, ball 1. Low, ball 2. Left the inside corner, strike 1. Swing and a miss, strike 2. It's a grounder to first. No! That's past first base, into the corner. Leave has it. Pinson, round second. He slides in third. He's safe with a triple. Here is Chris Chambliss. He came up to the Indians on May 28th. And since coming up, he is hitting .360, no home runs and 2 runs batted in. Strike 1 called. Inside, ball 1. Swing and a miss, strike 2. That was low and away, ball 2. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Fouls it back, that's out of play. Count remains 2-2. Check the swing, they appeal. Nope, he held up. Ball 3. Full count. Change up, ball 4. And Chambliss walks. Here's Ted Uhlaender. He is hitting .292, no home runs, 11 runs batted in. Uhlaender was 3 for 4 yesterday with 2 runs batted in. He came over to the Indians from the Twins along with Greg Nettles for Louis Tiant. Tiant didn't really work out with the Twins. They released him. He was signed by the Braves. They released him before he made any appearances with them, and now he is signed with the Red Sox. Runners at the corners. High and outside, ball 1. A little high, ball 2. Low and inside, ball 3. 3 balls, no strikes. In there below the belt. Strike 1. He was taken all the way. Swing and a miss, strike 2. Full count. Just off the ground. Ball 4. And Chambliss moves to second. That'll load the bases with nobody out. And here is Greg Nettles, who's hitting .287 with 12 home runs and 36 runs batted in. Swing and a miss, strike 1. He takes a look at strike 2. The 0-2 pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Strikeout number 1 for Jim Perry. Here's Ray Fosse. He's hitting .277, 4 home runs and 23 runs batted in. He was 3 for 5 yesterday and scored 2 runs in the Indians' 9-4 loss. It's a fly ball in the left field. Tovar's coming in. He has it. Vincent takes off for the plate. And Tovar throws it to the cutoff man. It's 1-0 Cleveland. Here is Fred Stanley. Fred Stanley was called up from Wichita on May 20th. He's hitting .250, no home runs, no runs batted in. Wing and a miss, strike 1. That's high, ball 1. Low, ball 2. It's a bouncer to third. Killebrew, the throw to second. And that'll end the inning. Cleveland gets 1 run, 1 hit, no errors. They left 2 men on base. We go to the bottom of the first. It's Cleveland 1, Minnesota coming to bat. Minnesota Twins starting lineup will be leading off is the left fielder Cesar Tovar. Batting second, the center fielder Jim Holt. Batting third, the right fielder Tony Oliva. Batting fourth, the third baseman, Harmon Killebrew. Batting fifth, the shortstop, Leo Cardenas. Batting sixth, the second baseman, Rod Carew. Batting seventh, the first baseman, Rich Reese. Batting eighth, the catcher, Paul Ratliff. And batting ninth, the pitcher, Jim Perry. Cleveland starts out with Chris Chambliss at first base. Eddie Leone at second. Fred Stanley at shortstop. Greg Nettles at third. Ted Uhlaender in left field. Vada Pinson in center field. Roy Foster in right field. Ray Fosse catching, and on the mound, Sam McDowell. Sudden Sam won the Cy Young Award last year, and he also won it in 1965. When the Indians came so close to winning the pennant that year against Minnesota. Well, he is a hard thrower, but this year he is he's been having control issues. He has a record of 5-5 with an ERA of 4.22. He's lost his last 3 decisions. He's pitched 79 innings. He's given up 62 hits, of which 7 of those were home runs. He's given up 64 walks. He leads the major leagues in walks, and he struck out 87. He is third in the AL, behind Vita Blue and Mickey Lolich in strikeouts. Leading off for Minnesota in the first is Cesar Tovar. He's hitting an even .300. No home runs and 18 runs batted in. The 2-1 pitch. He hits a grounder to short. Fred Stanley's up with it to throw to first. 1 out. Here is Jim Holt, who's hitting .249. No home runs, 11 runs batted in. The 2-1 pitch. Hits slow roller to third. Nettles picks it up. Throw to first. He's safe. Bolt wiped out of him. Here is Tony Conigliaro, hitting .323 with 10 home runs, 36 runs batted in. He was 4 for 5 yesterday. Drove in 4 runs. He had a double, a home run, and 2 singles. He also struck out once. He's 5th in the AL in batting average. And he's 8th in the AL with 36 runs batted in. Ball 1. Fouls it back. Strike 1. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. Runner on first. Right down the middle of the plate. Strike 2. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. He lunged at that one. That's strikeout number 1 for Sam McDowell. Here is Harmon Killebrew. He's hitting .262 with 14 home runs and 44 runs batted in. He hit a home run Friday night against the Indians. High and outside, ball 1 on the fastball. That's high and inside, ball 2. Breaking ball, outside on the black, strike 1. Fly ball down the right field line. Foster's after it, but it makes the seats. Change up in the dirt. Gets past Fosse. Bolt takes second, and they're calling that a wild pitch. The 3-2 pitch. Outside and high, ball 4. Killebrew with the walk. Here is Leo Cardenas hitting .281 with 6 home runs and 22 runs batted in. Inside, ball 1. That was high, ball 2. Way outside, nice grab by Fosse, ball 3. 3 balls and no strikes. Fastball, ball 4. And Cardenas walks. Bases loaded. 2 outs. Rod Carew is up. He's hitting .349, no home runs, 21 runs batted in. Back. Neely Jr. is left for a moment. Rod Carew was 2 for 3 yesterday with scoring 2 runs, and he had a double. He was the Rookie of the Year in 1967, and he was the World Series MVP last season. Swing and a miss, strike 1. That was the heater. Another fastball, outside and high, ball 1. Another fastball, Carew fouls it back. Strike 2, 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs, bases loaded. Curveball, ball 2. Another curveball, that was low, ball 3. Bounces one to the plate, ball 4. Both scores, that forces in a run. The game is tied at 1. Here is Rich Reese, who's hitting .244, 5 home runs and 17 runs batted in. Strike one called. Foul ball, third base side.
Foul ball.
That was wide of the plate. Ball one. One ball, two strikes. Inside, ball two.
Strike three.
Caught the outside corner. Strike three called. One run, one hit, no errors. They leave the bases loaded. We've played one inning in Minnesota, and we are tied at one apiece. Leading off for the Indians in the top of the second is Roy Foster. He's hitting .236, 6 home runs, and 22 runs batted. He was 2 for 4 yesterday with 2 runs batted in. The 1-2 pitch. It's a grounder to first. Reese up with it. He underhands it to Perry, covering, 1 out. Here is Eddie Leon, who's hitting .264 with 1 home run and 16 runs batted in. 2-1 pitch. It's a base hit in the center field. Here is Sam McDowell. He's hitting .125. No home runs, 3 runs batted in. He is 3 for 24. They're playing him for the bunt. He's a pretty good bunter. Squares the bunt. Front of the plate. Reese picks it up. And he tags McDowell. Eddie Leon takes second on the sacrifice. 2 outs. Here is Vada Pinson, who's 1 for 1. He led off the game with a triple. He scored the Indians' only run of the game so far. Ball one. Fly ball down the right field line. Leave is after it, but it makes the seats. Strike one. Hits it on the ground, right back to the pitcher. Perry throws over to first, 3 outs. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, 1 left. We go to the bottom of the second. Cleveland 1, Minnesota 1. The catcher, Paul Ratliff, leads off for the Twins in the second. He's hitting .198 with 3 home runs and 13 runs batted in. The 0-2 pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3. That's strikeout number 3 for Sam McDowell. Here is Jim Perry, the pitcher. He's hitting .208. No home runs, 1 run batted in. He is 5 for 24 on the season. The 2-2 pitch. It's a slow grounder to first. Chambliss has it. He'll take it himself. 2 outs. And here is Cesar Tovar. He's 0 for 1. He grounded the shortstop in the first inning. The 3-2 pitch. It's a slow roller to second. Leon. It's under his glove. Tovar was running all the way, and he made it to second base on that error. That's error number 6 for Eddie Leon. Here is Jim Holt, who's 1 for 1. He singled on the infield in the first inning. Tony Oliva's on deck. It's a grounder to second. Leon has it to throw to first. 3 outs. No runs, no hits, 1 error, 1 left. We've played 2 in Minnesota. Cleveland 1, Minnesota 1. Top of the third for Cleveland. Chris Chambliss leads off. He walked in the first inning. The 0-1 pitch. It's fly ball in the left field. Tovar drifting back near the track, and he's got it. 1 out. Here is Ted Eulander. He walked in the first inning. The 3-2 pitch. Just outside, ball 4. And here's Greg Nettles. He's 0 for 1. He struck out in the first. Down and in, ball 1. Too low, ball 2. Swing and a miss, strike 1. It's a deep fly ball into center field. Jim Holt going back near the track, and he's got it. Two outs, and here is Ray Fosse. He had a sacrifice fly in the first. That scored Veda Pinson. First run of the game. Low, ball 1. Fly ball in left field. Tovar going back, and it's off the wall. Eulander rounds third. He'll score. Fosse's in at second with a stand-up double. That's his 5th double of the year. And his 25th RBI. He's driven in both of the Indians' runs today. Here's Fred Stanley. He's 0 for 1. He grounded into a force play in the first inning. Foul tip, strike 1. It's a ground ball into left field, base hit. Fosse rounds third. He'll score. And Stanley gets his first career run batted in. No, I take that back. He had 1 RBI in the 1 game that he played for the Seattle Pilots in 1969. I thought this, for some reason, I thought this was his debut year in MLB. First RBI with the Indians, 2nd career RBI. Here's Roy Foster, who is 0 for 1. He grounded out in the 2nd. Changeup, just above the letters, ball 1. Swing and a miss, strike 1. Curveball, too high, ball 2. Pops it up on the infield. Carew will take it, and that's 3 outs. Cleveland gets 2 runs, 2 hits, no errors. They left 1 on base. We go to the bottom of the 3rd. It is Cleveland 3, Minnesota 1. 3rd inning for Minnesota. It will be Tony Oliva, Harmon Killebrew, and Leo Cardenas. Oliva's 0 for 1 today. He struck out the first inning. The 2-2 pitch. It's fly ball in center field. Pinson drifting back, and he's got it. 1 out. Here is Harmon Killebrew. He walked in the first. That was the first of 3 consecutive walks given up by Sam McDowell in the first inning. The 1-2 pitch. On the inside corner at the knee, strike 3 called. Killebrew was fooled on that one, and he knew it. Strikeout number 4 for Sam McDowell. And here is Leo Cardenas. He walked in the first inning. The 1 pitch. It's a fly ball in the left field. Eulander drifting back. He's got it. 3 outs. No runs, no hits, no errors, no one left. We played 3 in Minnesota. It is the Indians 3, the Twins 1. Take a look around the league. Bottom of the 7th in Cincinnati, Cardinals and the Reds tied at 1 apiece. Joe Torre's 3 for 3 today. Went 3 for 3 yesterday, too. That is Chris Zachary against Jim Merritt. Bottom of the 5th in Washington, the A's lead the Senators 7-2. Angel Manguel hit his 6th home run of the year for Oakland. That is Jim Catfish Hunter against Jim Schellenbach. Top of the 6th at Yankee Stadium, the Royals lead the Yankees 4-1. That is Bruce Del Canton against Stan Bonson. Top of the 7th in Pittsburgh, Astros and Pirates tied at 3 apiece. That's a matchup of the two first place National League teams this year. Jack Billingham's on the mound for Houston. He's looking for his 10th win of the year. And Mudcat Grant is pitching for Pittsburgh. Bottom of the 5th in Atlanta, the Braves lead the Cubs 5-1. Darrell Evans hit his 6th home run of the year for Atlanta. That is Ken Holtzman. He got off to a rough start, but he's 5-5 now. And against Ron Reed. Top of the 7th in Boston, Red Sox lead the Angels 4-2. One of the Conigliaros is 3 for 3. But it doesn't say whether it's Tony or Billy. Jim Lonborg is pitching for Boston. He recently called back up from the minors. Bottom of the 4th in Chicago, the White Sox lead the Tigers 1-0. That's Joel Coleman against Joe Horland. And top of the 4th in Milwaukee, the Brewers lead the Orioles 1-0. That's Dave McNally against Bill Parsons. Milwaukee beat the Orioles yesterday. Seven to 6. Top of the 4th for Cleveland, Eddie Leone leads off. He is 1 for 1. He singled in the 2nd inning. The 1-2 pitch. It's a grounder down the first base line. Reese up with it. He'll take it himself. 1 out. Here is Sam McDowell. He hit it into a sacrifice bunt in the 2nd inning. 1-1 pitch. Grounder right back to the mound. Jim Perry has it, and he throws the first. 2 outs. And here's Veda Pinson, who is 1 for 2. He tripled in the 1st, leading off the game, and grounded out in the 2nd. He came around and he scored the Indians' first run of the game. It's a liner into the left field corner. Tovar's after it. Pinson rounds first. Heading for 2nd. He is trying for 3rd. He slides, and he's safe. That's his 2nd triple of the day. His 4th triple of the season, and his 2nd one today. 2 outs, runner on 3rd, and here's Chris Chambliss, who's 0 for 1. He walked, and he flied out in the 3rd. Ratliff going out to talk to Jim Perry. Low and inside, ball 1. Chambliss hits a base hit into right field. That'll score Pinson. It's 4-1 Cleveland. Here is Ted Uhlaender. He walked in the 1st and he walked in the 3rd. High, way outside, ball 1. Liner down the first base line, but it's fine. 1-1. He swung at a bad pitch. Strike 2. Ball 2. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Runner on 1st. It's a grounder to short. Cardenas tosses to Carew at second. That's 3 outs. But the Indians got 1 run, 2 hits, no errors. They left 1 on base. We go to the bottom of the 4th. It is Cleveland 4, Minnesota 1. The bottom of the 4th for Minnesota, it will be Rod Carew, Rich Reese, and Paul Ratliff. Rod Carew, he walked in the first inning. The bases were loaded, and Jim Holt scored. He's second in the league with a 349 average. The 2-2 pitch. Fly ball in the right field. Roy Foster moving back, and he's got it. 1 out. Here is Rich Reese. He's 0 for 1. He struck out in the first inning. The 2-2 pitch. He hits a fly ball in right field. Foster moving to his right, and he's got it. 2 outs. And here's Paul Ratliff, who's 0 for 1. He struck out in the second. Three call. Strikeout number 5 for McDowell. No runs, no hits, no errors, no one left. We played 4 Minnesota, Cleveland 4, Minnesota 1. Greg Nettles leads off for the Indians in the 5th. He had struck out in the first and flied out in the 3rd. 3-1 pitch. Some chin music. Ball 4. That's walk number 4 given up by Jim Perry. Here's Ray Fosse, who's 1 for 1. He had a sacrifice fly in the first, scoring Veda Pinson. And he doubled in the 3rd, scoring Ted Ulander. So he is 1 for 1. He has 2 runs batted in today. Curveball, low and outside, ball 1. It's a fly ball down the left field line. Tovar's after it, but it makes the seats. Ball 2. Fly ball into left center. Holt chasing it. And Holt makes a catch at the wall. Nettles holds it first. Holt went a long way for that ball. Here is Fred Stanley, who's 1 for 2. He grounded into a force play in the first, and he singled in the 3rd, driving in Ray Fosse. All right, and we're back. Here's the first pitch to Stanley. Strike 1 call. It's a sharp grounder to short. This could be 2. To second for 1. To first. Double play. 6-4-3 double play. No runs, no hits, no errors, no one left. We go to the bottom of the 5th. It is Cleveland 4, Minnesota 1. Jim Perry leads off for the Twins in the bottom of the fifth. He's 0 for 1. He grounded out to Chris Chambliss. Second inning, the 3-2 pitch. Right down the middle for strike 3. 1 out. That's strikeout number 6 for McDowell. Here is Cesar Tovar, who is 0 for 2. He grounded the shortstop in the first, and he was safe on an error in the second. The 1-1 pitch. It's a base hit into left field. Nylander tosses it back in. That's hit number 2 off of Sam McDowell. Here is Jim Holt. He is 1 for 2 today. He singled on the infield in the first and grounded out in the second. Down and away, ball 1. Fouls it back, strike 1. Too high, ball 2. 2 balls and 1 strike. Inside, ball 3. 3-1. Fouls it back. That makes the count full. 3 balls, 2 strikes. 1 out, runner on first. Looks at strike 3. He got crossed up there. Strikeout number 7 for Sam McDowell. Here's Tony Oliva, who's 0 for 2. He struck out in the first and flied out in the third. Foul tip, strike 1. It's one into right field, liner, but it's right at Foster. He makes the catch. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, 1 left. We've played 5 complete. It's an official game here at Metropolitan Stadium. Cleveland 4, Minnesota 1. Cleveland has 4 runs, 6 hits, 1 error. They've left 5 men on base. Minnesota has 1 run, 2 hits, no errors. They've left 5 men on base. Cleveland scored first when Vada Pinson led off the game with a triple. Then the next 2 hitters walked. Greg Nettles struck out. That made it 1 out. And Ray Fosse flew out to Jim Holt, I believe. And Pinson scored. That made it 1-0. Then in the first inning, bottom of the first, Jim Holt singled on the infield. Lever struck out. Holt took second on a wild pitch. Then Killebrew walked. Cardenas walked, loading the bases. And Carew walked. That scored Jim Holt. That tied the game at 1. Second inning with 1 out. Nylander walked. Nettles flied out, making it 2 outs. Fosse doubled off the ball. That scored Ted Nylander. Then Fred Stanley singled. That scored Ray Fosse. That made it 3-1 Cleveland. And in the 4th inning, with 2 outs, Vada Pinson tripled. His second triple of the day. And Chambliss single. That scored Pinson with his second run of the game. That made it 4-1, and that's where we're at right now. Roy Foster leads off for the Indians in the 6th. He's 0 for 2. He grounded out in the second and popped out in the third. Here's the first pitch. He hits a grounder to first. Reese is up with it, and he'll take it himself. 1 out. Here's Eddie Leon. He's 1 for 2. He singled in the second. The 0-1 pitch. It's fly ball in the left field. Tovar going back, and it's gone. Home run, number 2 for Eddie Leon. That one went 345 feet. That is the 15th home run of the year given up by Jim Perry. Here's Sam McDowell. He's 0 for 1. Had a sacrifice bunt in the second, and he grounded to the pitcher in the fourth. The 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss, strike three. He had a good cut, but he missed that one. 2 outs. Second strikeout of the day for Jim Perry. Here is Veda Pinson. He's 2 for 3. He tripled in the first and tripled in the fourth. And each time he came in to score. The 0-2 pitch. Swing and a miss, strike three. But the Indians get 1 run, 1 hit, no errors, no one left. We go to the bottom of the 6th. Cleveland 5, Minnesota 1. Leading off for Minnesota in the 6th will be Harmon Killebrew, who is 0 for 1 today. He walked in the first and he struck out in the third. 2-2 pitch. It's fly ball in the left field. Uhlaender going back near the track. And he's got it. 1 out. Here is Leo Cardenas, who's 0 for 1. He walked in the first and he flied out in the third. The 0-1 pitch. It's fly ball in the left center. Uhlaender, Pinson, both after it, but it's gone. Home run. Number 7 for Leo Cardenas. That makes it 5-2. Here is Rod Carew. He's 0 for 1 today. He walked in the first. Bases were loaded and Jim Holt scored, and he flied out in the fourth. The 3-2 pitch. Too high, ball 4. That's the 4th walk of the game given up by McDowell, but the first one since the first inning. Run around first, 1 out. Here is Rich Reese, who's 0 for 2. He struck out in the first and flied out in the fourth. Breaking ball. Caught the outside corner, strike 1. That's high, ball 1. Low, ball 2. Down and away, ball 3. Low and inside, ball 4. 5th walk of the day given up by McDowell, and here's Paul Ratliff, who's 0 for 2. He struck out in the second, struck out in the fourth. Good time for strikeout number 3. Ball 1. Too high, ball 2. McDowell has suddenly lost his control. Ball 3, 3-0. Foul tip. 3 balls and 1 strike. Swing and a miss, strike 2. Hits it down the first base line, but that's foul. Too close, ball 4. And just like in the first inning, McDowell has walked 3 in a row. Here is Jim Perry. He's 0 for 2 today. He grounded out in the second, struck out in the 5th. He looks at strike 1. Swing and a miss, strike 2. High and inside, ball 1. Outside and low, ball 2. It's fly ball to left field. Uhlander's there. He has it. Root tags. The throw from Uhlander. Root dives from the plate. He's safe. It's 5-3. Here's Cesar Tovar. He's 1 for 3 today. He He grounded out in the first. He was safe on an error in the second. He singled in the fifth. Strike one call. Off the inside edge. Strike two. You're going to miss strike three. Strikeout number 8 for McDowell, but the Twins got 2 runs on 1 hit. No errors. They left 2 men on base. We played 6 in Minnesota. It is Cleveland 5, Minnesota 3. Leading off for Cleveland in the top of the 7th is Chris Chambers. He walked in the first, flied out in the third, and he singled in the fourth. That scored Veda Pinson. Three-one pitch. Outside, ball 4. That's 5th walk of the game given up by Jim Perry. Here's Ted Uhlaender, who's 0 for 1. He walked in the first, walked in the third, and he grounded into a force play in the fourth. He scored in third. Swing and a miss, strike 1. Greg Nettles is on deck. Strike 2 called. The 0-2 pitch. High, ball 1. It's a blooper to the shortstop. But Cardenas is right there. He makes the catch. And Chambliss has plenty of time to get back to first. Here's Greg Nettles, who's 0 for 2. He struck out in the first, flied out in the third, and he walked in the fifth. Changeup. We looked at strike 1. Ball 1. The 1-1 pitch. It's fly ball in the right field. Tony Oliva's there. And he's got it. 2 outs. Chambliss goes back to first. Here's Ray Fosse, who's 1 for 2 today. He had a sacrifice fly in the first, driving in Veda Pinson. He doubled in the third, driving in Ted Uhlaender, and he flied out in the fifth. Holt made a nice catch off of Fosse in the fifth. Swing and a miss, strike 1. Ball 1. Fouls it back. Strike 2. Ball 2. 2 balls and 2 strikes. 2 outs. Ball 3. Full count. 2 outs. Runner on first. Chambliss will be going. Here's the payoff pitch. Liner down the third base line, but that's foul. Chambliss will be going. 3-2 pitch. Base hit. Right center. Goes all the way to the wall. Holt has it. Chambliss. Round second. He'll score. Fosse's in second with a stand-up double. It's 6-3 Cleveland. That's Fosse's 3rd run batted in today. Here's Fred Stanley. He's 1 for 3. He grounded into a force play in the first, singled in the third, scoring Ray Fosse. And he grounded into a double play in the fifth. Low, ball 1. It's a liner, base hit, left field. Fosse rounds 3rd. He'll score. It's 7-3. The Indians got the 2 runs back that they gave up in the 6th. Here comes the manager, and that'll be all for Jim Perry. Ray Corbin's coming in to pitch. He's making his 17th appearance of the season. He has a record of 2-3, no saves, an ERA of 6.32. He had 47 innings pitched. He's given up 59 hits. 8 of those were home runs. He has walked 24 and struck out 38. Bill Rigney had seen enough. Runner on first, 2 outs. Here is Roy Foster, who's 0 for 3 today. He grounded out in the second, popped out in the third, and grounded out in the sixth. Eddie Leone is on deck. Swing and a miss on a changeup, strike 1. This is Ray Corbin's rookie year. This is his first year with the Minnesota Twins. Curveball, liner down the third base line. That's foul. Strike 2. No balls, 2 strikes. Inside, ball 1. Low and inside, ball 2. Outside, ball 3. He works it full. Full count, 2 outs. Stanley will be going. Changeup right down the middle for strike 3 call. But the Indians got 2 runs, 2 hits, no errors. They left 1 on base. We go to the bottom of the 7th. It is Cleveland 7, Minnesota 3. Take a look around the league. Bottom of the 2nd in Los Angeles. The Mets lead the Dodgers 1-0. That is Tom Seaver. Been off to a rough start this year. He's 4-5 against Claude Osteen. Final in Cincinnati, the Reds beat the Cardinals 3-2. Bernie Carbo went 3 for 3. Jim Merritt got the win for Cincinnati. He's 6-3. Final in Washington, the A's beat the Senators 8-3. Reggie Jackson went 3 for 4. Jim Hunter got the win. He's 8-1. Dick Bosman got the loss. He's 5-4. Final in Pittsburgh, Pirates beat the Astros 7-3. Richie Hebner hit his 18th home run for Pittsburgh. That ties him with Willie Stargell for the Major League lead in home runs. Mudcat Grant got the win. He's 1-1. Final in Atlanta, the Braves beat the Cubs 8-2. Darrell Evans went 3 for 4. Ron Reed got the win. He's 3-3. Final in California, the Red Sox beat the Angels 10-2. Conigliaro went 4 for 4. I'm guessing that was probably Billy Conigliaro for Boston and not Tony for California. Jim Lonborg gets the win. He's 1-2. His first win since coming back from the minors. Bottom of the 8th in Milwaukee, the Orioles and the Brewers are tied at 2 apiece. Johnny Briggs hit his 7th home run for Milwaukee. It's Dave McNally against Ken Sanders. And bottom of the 2nd in San Francisco, Phillies and Giants, no score. That's Ken Reynolds against Ron Bryant. They're watching Willie Mays in San Francisco. He has 597 career home runs. They're pretty anxious to see him hit home run number 600. When that happens, he'll be the 2nd player ever to hit 600 home runs, Babe Ruth being the only other one. New pitcher for Cleveland in the bottom of the 7th. It's Vince Colbert. He's making his 15th appearance of the year. He is 2-1. He has no saves. He has an ERA of 2.94. In 33 and 2/3 innings, he's given up 41 hits, only 2 home runs, 13 walks, and 17 strikeouts. So I think he may be the best of the long-term Indians pitchers this season in giving up the gopher ball. Jim Holt leads off for Minnesota. He is 1 for 3. He singled in the first. He singled and he scored first. The 1-0 pitch. It's a liner into right field. Base hit. That'll make it all the way to the wall. This will be extra bases. Holt round second. He slides into third. He's safe with a triple. That's his second triple of the season. Here's Tony Oliva, who's 0 for 3 today. Oliva got off to a fairly nondescript start this season, hitting only 282 in April. And at one point, his average was down to 260, down to 250. And he took some umbrage to comment that Lefty Phillips, the Angels manager, said about players taking days off when they're not hitting. And Phillips called Oliva when he read about this. He had assured Tony Oliva that he was not talking about him. That he, looking at what the Angels were doing, he may have been talking about one of his own players. And Oliva apparently accepted Phillips' explanation and said there's no hard feelings. Oliva, he was the Rookie of the Year and the MVP in 1964. The only other player in my APC universe who was ever Rookie of the Year and MVP in the same season was Tommy Tresh in 1962. He was the MVP of the American League Championship Series last year. That's in there below the belt, strike 1. Check swing, called, strike 2. Down and away, ball 1. Oliva wasn't biting on that. Liner into left field. But that's right at Uland. Ulander catches it. And Holt immediately retreats back to third. Holt looked like he was thought he could score on that one. He saw the trajectory of the ball and he ran right back to third. Here is Harmon Killebrew, who's 0 for 2 today. He had a walk in the first inning. He had a home run Friday night. Off-speed pitch, ball 1. Curveball, ball 2. Another breaking ball, too high, ball 3. 3 balls and no strikes. It's base hit into center field. Holt scores. Killebrew rounds first. Dives into second. He's safe. It's his 10th double of the year. It's 7-4 Cleveland. Here's Leo Cardenas. He's 1 for 2. He had a solo home run in the 6th. It's a fly ball in the center field. Pinson's there. He has it. 2 outs, and Killebrew holds it second. Here's Rod Carew, who's 0 for 1. He walked twice. He walked with the bases loaded in the first, scoring Jim Holt, and he walked in the sixth. Rod Carew, he was the Rookie of the Year in 1967. He was the World Series MVP last year. He missed most of the season, but he came off the disabled list in time to make the postseason rosters. And he hit 500 in the World Series last year. Ball one. He played in 5 of the 6 games. Hit 500. 1-1. Caught the corner. Strike 2. Ball 2. It's a slow roller. Back to the mound. Colbert has it. Throws it first, and the side is retired. Minnesota gets 1 run. 2 hits, no errors. They left 1 on base. We played 7 at Metropolitan Stadium. It is Cleveland 6, Minnesota 4. Eddie Leon leads off the inning. He's 2 for 3 today. He singled in the second. He hit a solo home run in the 6th. Here's the 3-2 pitch. Liner down the left field line. That's in the corner. Tovar's after it. Leon is in second with a stand-up double. Here is Vince Colbert. He is 0 for 6 on the season. His batting average of 0, no home runs, and no runs batted in. He's an adequate bunter. Got the inside part of the plate. Strike 1. Too high. Ball 1. It's a base hit up the middle. Leon rounds third. He'll score. It's 8-4. The Indians make up the run that they gave up in the 7th. Here's Veda Pinson. He's 2 for 4. He tripled in the first, tripled in the 4th, and both times he came in to score. Here's Grounder to second. Carew to second for 1. The first, double play. 4-6-3 double play. And here's Chris Chambliss. He's 1 for 2. He singled in the 4th. That scored Veda Pinson. And he walked in the first and walked in the 7th. He's having a good day at the bat today. The 2-0 pitch. Bouncer up the middle. Carew to his right. Has it. Throws him out. 3 outs. But Cleveland gets 1 run on 2 hits. No errors. They left no one on base. We go to the bottom of the 8th. Cleveland 8. Minnesota 4. It'll be Reese, Ratliff, and the pitcher spot for Minnesota in the bottom of the 8th. Rich Reese is 0 for 2. He struck out in the first, flied out in the 4th, and walked in the 6th. It's a liner into center field. That's a base hit. Here's Paul Ratliff, who's 0 for 2. Struck out in the second, struck out in the 4th, and he walked in the 6th. That was the second inning of the game that McDowell walked 3 in a row. He did that in the 1st inning and the 6th inning. Ball 1. It's a grounder to third. Nettles only played a first. And he got him. 1 out. Reese takes second. Here's the pitcher's spot. And Brent Elliott will pinch hit. Brent Elliott, he's hitting .082, no home runs, 1 run batted in. He is 4 for 49 with 1 double. He scored 7 runs. He is 1 for 20 as a pinch hitter. And his one hit was a double, and he's walked 3 times. I don't know what's going on with him, but he really took a downturn. Last season, he got into 101 games, and he had 283 with 25 home runs, 72 runs batted in. He had 278 in the World Series. He got the only hit in a game that Jerry Kuzman threw a one-hitter, but he lost 1-0. The only hit he gave up was a home run to Brandon. And in 1969, under Ted Williams in Washington, he had 258. No telling what's going on with him. He's having an awful year this year. Curveball inside, ball 1. Fouls it back. Strike 1. It's a fly ball in the right field. Roy Foster's coming in. He's got it. 2 outs. And here is Cesar Tovar, who's 1 for 4. He singled in the 5th. He's hitting .297 against right-handers. Swing and a miss, strike 1. It's a grounder to short. Fred Stanley's up with it to throw to first. 3 outs. No runs. No hits. No errors. 1 left. Or I take that back. There was 1 hit. New pitcher for Minnesota, Jim Strickland, making his 9th appearance of the season. He has no wins, no losses, 2 saves, an ERA of 3.12. In 8 2/3 innings, he's given up 5 hits. 1 of those is a home run. He walked 6 and struck out 8. Strickland was called up on May 5th. This is his first season in the majors. He's got himself off to a good start. Ted Uhlaender leads off for the Indians in the 9th. He's 0 for 2 today. He has 2 walks, the 1-2 pitch. Curveball just below the belt, strike 3 called. 1 out. Here's Greg Nettles, who's 0 for 3. Struck out in the 1st, flied out in the 3rd, walked in the 5th, flied out in the 7th. The 2-1 pitch. It's a liner down the first base line, but that's foul. It's a blooper into right field, base hit. Here's Ray Fosse, who's 2 for 3. He has 3 runs batted in today. He had sacrifice fly in the 1st. Doubled in the 3rd, scoring a run. Flied out in the 5th. Bolt making a nice play on him. And doubled in the 7th, scoring a run. That hit the outside corner. Strike 1. It's a fly ball in the center field. Holt drifting back on the track, and he's got it. 2 outs. Here's Fred Stanley, who's 2 for 4 today. Single in the 1st, driving in a run. And singled in the 7th, driving in a run. He's Drove in Ray Fosse both times. He's 2 for 4 with 2 runs batted in. Outside, ball 1. Outside and high, ball 2. High and inside, ball 3. Low and away, ball 4. Stanley was taken all the way. He was walked on 4 pitches. Here's Roy Foster, who's 0 for 4 today. That caught the outside corner. Strike 1. Ball 1. Way inside, ball 2. Ball 3. Curveball. He lunged and missed that one. Strike 2. Low and inside, ball 4. He walks, loading the bases with 2 outs. And here's Eddie Leone. He's 3 for 4. He singled in the 2nd, grounded out in the 4th. Hit a solo home run in the 6th, and he doubled in the 8th. He just needs a triple for the cycle. Low, ball 1. Outside, ball 2. Strike 1 called. That caught the inside corner, strike 2. It's a grounder to first. Reese up with it. The throw to Strickland covering. 3 outs. No runs, 1 hit, no errors. They left the bases loaded. We go to the bottom of the 9th. Cleveland 8, Minnesota 4. This feels like a game, one of those must-win games from like 1965 or 1968, where they had to win to stay in pennant contention. They're 20 and a half games back, and I feel like I'm playing like in the World Series or something. That this has to be like a must-win game. Ted Ford coming into play left field for Cleveland. John Lowenstein weren't on the DL. He would probably be coming into play second base. Vince Colbert will face Jim Holt, Tony Oliva, and Harmon Killebrew in the bottom of the 9th. Ted Ford, he is like the epitome of good field, no hit. Jim Holt is 2 for 4 today. Singled in the 1st, grounded out in the 2nd, struck out in the 5th, and tripled in the 7th. Bill Hennigan's warming up in the bullpen for Cleveland. Even though Colbert is pitching well, the 0-2 pitch. It's a grounder to short. Stanley up with it to throw to first. In time to get Holt. 1 out. Holt nearly beat that out. He beat out an infield hit earlier in the game. Back in the 1st inning. Here's Tony Oliva, who is 0 for 4 today. The 1-2 pitch. It's fly ball in the left field. Ford drifting back, and he's got it. 2 outs. Indians are 1 out away from ending the 13-game losing streak. Here's Harmon Killebrew, who's 1 for 3. He doubled in the 7th, scoring Jim Holt. The 2-1 pitch. It's fly ball in the left field. Ford going back near the track. He's got it. Losing streak is over. Indians win 8-4. What a game. It's almost like they won the pennant. The Indians have 8 runs, 12 hits, 1 error. Minnesota had 4 runs, 6 hits, no errors. Sam McDowell got the win. He's 6-5. After 3 consecutive losses, he finally gets a win. Jim Perry gets a loss. He's 5-9. Vince Colbert gets a save. That's his first of the year. McDowell pitched 6 innings. He gave up 3 hits, 3 runs. They were all earned. He gave up 1 home run. He walked 6. He walked 3 in a row in the first and 3 in a row in the 6th. And he struck out 8. Vince Colbert in 3 innings gave up 3 hits. He gave up 1 run. It was earned. No walks, no strikeouts. Jim Perry in 6 2/3 innings gave up 9 hits. He gave up 7 runs. They were all earned. He gave up 1 home run. That was to Eddie Leon. He walked 5, struck out 3. Ray Corbin pitched an inning and a third. He gave up 2 hits, 1 run. It was earned. And he struck out 1. And Jim Strickland pitched in the 9th inning. He pitched 1 inning. He gave up 1 hit. He walked 2. He struck out 1. But he pitched out of the jam. Cleveland left 9 men on base. Minnesota left 9 men on base. Ray Fosse's the player of the game. He was 2 for 4 with 3 runs batted in. Eddie Leon went 3 for 5 with a home run and a double. Vada Pinson was 2 for 5 with 2 triples. And on the Minnesota side of the ledger, Leo Cardenas was 1 for 3. He had a home run. And Jim Holt was 2 for 5 with a triple. Time of the game, 3 hours and 26 minutes. Once again, final score, Cleveland 8, Minnesota 4. Cleveland ends the 13-game losing streak. They look pretty good today. First, they had some good pitching, pretty much, except for McDowell with getting wild in the 1st and the 6th inning, which led to 3 of Minnesota's runs. Indians end up taking 1 out of 3 from Minnesota. And I believe they go to... I was going to say Milwaukee, but they just played in Milwaukee. They come back to Cleveland on Tuesday. The White Sox will be in Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Milwaukee will be in Cleveland next weekend. Then Minnesota comes in. And then Detroit comes in for a weekend series. So they will be at home for the next 2 weeks. And once again, final score, Cleveland 8, Minnesota 4. 13-game losing streak is history. Hope you enjoyed this game. I know I did, and thank you for watching.